Welcome to the first episode of the podcast that we're doing that I don't think we have an official title for.
I think it's an untitled podcast.
And that's totally fine. Totally fine.
It'll just make it cooler when we finally do come up with a title.
By now, we'll have the sickest title. Taylor, get on that.
Yeah, I'll get on that real quick.
Taylor, throw that up.
Real quick. That is my favorite fucking meme on this channel so far.
That
it's just like, Taylor, throw it up. No,
yep. Oh, it's a classic. It's a go-to.
And I do every single one of them. It is all me.
Yep.
It's been him this whole time.
Yep.
He's our secret little cabinet boy. We just pull him out of the pantry sometimes.
Cabinet boy.
And it's just edit this.
Yep. It's essentially what we do.
All right.
Yeah, so basically, I don't know what's our kind of theme here.
So I took over the role of the host of this show.
Right.
Bitch.
And this
Okay.
Fuck, you got me. Fuck. So the role of this podcast will just be to be a little bit more like personal and personable.
Yeah.
Because we can talk about more than just what's happening on like a video game screen.
Right. Yeah. It's not going to be like
excited
gaming.
for this.
I mean, it's not going to be not gaming. But
Yeah,
it's not
exactly,
going to be,
exactly.
It's not gaming.
I drafted up
gaming.
Yeah,
Right.
I drafted up an intro to a podcast I was going to do with one of my other friends, and it was like,
Don't try to pretend you have other friends.
such and such podcast.
Ooh.
The loose format that occasionally strays toward video games, but like that sounded stupid, so I didn't keep it. But that's basically what this is.
Yeah.
Just-
The one that sounded stupid, we're taking up the mantle on that. We're picking up the torch.
And it also goes for like stuff that's happening in real life, because that might not happen in a gameplay or whatever. Because I
Right.
know you two talk about like what's happening in your real life.
Yeah, we try
sometimes on like Shapeless Skyrim.
Yeah, we
go
do.
watch the latest episode now.
Yeah. Every Tuesday.
Plug our own channel.
Yeah, dude.
Today we're sponsored by
by
Throwback Thursday.
Shapeless Gaming. Oh my god. All right, so do you want me to pick a topic off of our topic list to begin with, or do you guys want to start with
I
something?
think as the host, you should be the first to guide us in. You are our spiritual guide. You will shine the light. You are Gandalf.
You're going to Sherpa us through this?
Sure. All right, let's talk about coffee.
Okay.
So I have been drinking shitty coffee basically all of my life.
Yep.
And by shitty coffee, I just mean something that you pour into a coffee maker, you know, like the pre-ground stuff that you just pull off the shelf.
Yep.
I've had some good bags.
Yep.
But they're all, you know, bag.
Well, it's easy with that phrase.
That sounds
All right.
really
That's questionable.
condescending towards women.
Oh, fuck. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry.
No.
Wow, you really
In jest. In jest.
But anyway, yeah, like ever since I like met you and Alec, the two pretentious, I put that in quotes because you're not actually pretentious.
Well,
I try to be. We're the coffee people that you know.
Yeah, you're the coffee people that I know, and like you have a Chemex and everything like that.
Yeah.
I want to get into that.
Yeah.
So one of these days, I'm gonna
I'm
ask you to.
gonna have to throw. So let me tell you what here. Back in the day, we're talking 16-year-old Tory has to find a job, right? You know, he wants a car. He wants to be able to go out and do stuff. He wants to take the ladies
living
by
that
storm.
fucking teen life.
All I wanted to do was work at a coffee shop because I love it.
Crush
I
some
thought the
puss.
atmosphere was, they go hand in hand. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're baristing some coffee, you're going to get some poon on the side. That's how it goes. But so I wanted to work at a coffee shop so bad. And I went and I applied at the two that are in the town, like our town and stuff like that, or at least the town that me and Tyler are from, and nothing back. So I worked at a grocery store for 2 years instead. But then got my in at a little local coffee chain.
Slid that in.
Little local coffee chain.
You might know it as Caribou Coffee. It's a small little chain.
We're going worldwide. I don't work there anymore.
Straight up,
what is
I
Caribou
love Caribou
nationally.
coffee.
Caribou is not Caribou nationally.
Is there Caribou nationally?
No.
No, it goes under a different name.
No. It
Oh,
doesn't.
Yeah, I thought there was. There's like a
No.
different name it brands by in other places.
It's Caribou Coffee.
Oh, it's
everywhere.
Caribou Coffee everywhere. It's just the interior is like cabiny here.
Yeah.
The interior is
Oh,
different
okay.
other
The
places.
interior
That's
is more
what it
similar
is.
to like a Starbucks or something like
yeah.
that.
I honestly thought it was a Midwest thing only.
Well, it was, but they're expanding.
Yeah.
So basically, let me tell you about the business model of Caribou. It's like they're expanding. You can find them in like
Give
Korea
us
now.
the mission statement. Like,
Really? There's one in
you are-
Korea?
Yep.
Holy shit, that's insane.
Yeah, they're starting to
North or
break
south?
out a little bit. Both.
It's
North only.
No, it's in the
Kim
demilitarized
Jong,
zone.
big fan.
They're the last bastion to peace.
They have, like the drive-thrus are right next to each other. In the DMZ, they're just like driving past each other. Both sides of the armies just like trained on each other as they're getting their coffee.
One side is like sedans, like what a normal person would drive. The other side is just tank after tank after tank.
So basically,
I keep trying to monitor this audio.
When I was working there, I was one of the people who was called a brew master or a brew expert.
Sick as fucking name.
Yeah, it was
That is
awesome.
cool. It sounds like you do beer.
Yeah, it was really interesting because I got to go to the world headquarters where they do all like the not, I was gonna say baking the beans, roasting.
I think you told me about this, but go on.
Yeah, and it's super cool to see all that. And we got to go through, and they would do like micro batches of all the different types of like roasts that they do, and I would go down a line. Basically, I had like a spittoon and a spoon, and I would go, and they had like a bowl. All the coffee was just in a bowl, and I would go through and then you would be able to like talk with the people. You'd be okay. What's like the taste in the back of your tongue? What's the taste in the front of your tongue? What kind of notes does it hit? And so that's where like you get that like pretentious coffee thing.
I was gonna say, if this wasn't so fucking cool, I would say you were the most pretentious dude.
But that's what they teach you to do, is they teach you to start picking up notes so you can taste and be like, oh, that's very lemony, that's very like citrusy or florally, or it's very earthy. You get to drop phrases like that. You know what I mean? So that was really cool. And then I got to go to like my store location, and I would be on like a separate table away from the counter and everything, and I would be doing demonstrations on how to properly brew and everything, using Chemex, using French presses, using
chemicals.
Yep, if you're poison.
This is how you would poison your husband.
Like how you would do it hot, how you would do it cold, that kind of stuff. And,
after you pull out the life insurance on them.
So yeah, it was really interesting to be able to like, okay, so this is why you would like wet the filter before you start brewing the coffee. This is why you like pour it in like bursts of 3 to let it bloom and stuff like that, and being able to do all that. So yeah, I basically, long story short, I can't drink Folgers anymore.
Yeah,
but if they want to sponsor us, I'll take their money. What up?
For sure.
What up, Folgers?
Actually, there's a ton of sponsors that do podcasts.
Which is, Blue Apron, where you at?
Yeah, seriously.
Omaha Steaks. Holy shit, I would do that.
But yeah, like
next topic: finding potential sponsors.
I'm going right to the top. I'm going Coca-Cola or bust.
Coca-Cola,
that's light.
Okay.
But yeah, so like, what kind of stuff did you want to know? I guess now that I've
what do I want to know?
Yeah. Or like, what about coffee interests you?
I think the best way to go about it is for me to just make a cup of coffee like how I normally make it, and then give it to you for you to like take a swig and then swish it around and then spit it out and call me how much of a bitch I am for drinking this coffee this whole time.
I don't think what your issue is how you're brewing it, because I make my coffee every day in a drip brew, because one, Chemex stuff is really expensive to replace and all that kind of stuff, and it also makes such a small amount. Like, I straight up, like, not joking, and I'm not trying to be like, oh my god, I
literally cannot live without coffee.
It's not that, but I actually drink a full pot of coffee a day, like a full 12-cup pot of coffee a day. It's not good for my heart, I don't think.
No, not at all.
But I love the taste of it. So
can I do your stuff?
And of course, I want to make this clear right now. While we're on the pretentious road, no cream, no sugar. You go straight black. God. You go straight black or nothing.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we all do, but like, yeah, this got really pretentious all of a sudden.
No, seriously, I've never drank black coffee before today and enjoyed it.
Really?
Yeah, like anytime I go to...
Did you like the one today, though?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I fucking loved it, dude.
But I feel the progression of it, because like I started drinking coffee when I was probably 12 years old.
Yep, me too.
I think about the same, yeah.
So, like, I mean, at first I was just loading that bitch with like a little bit of cream, but then fucking dumping sugar in there like there's no tomorrow. Like, I gotta sweeten that bitch up.
That's how you start.
And then I got to the point where it was like, I vividly remember I was sitting in my basement. I was probably playing Skyrim, honestly.
Yeah.
And then I like take the last sip, and then like as I'm downing it, like this chunk of sugar just like hits my tongue. It's literally it's just this chunk. It's like cat litter.
It's just
like
a
solidified.
Yeah,
if you have cats, like, you know, when they pee in the litter, it just like solidifies. Yeah, it clumps. It was that of sugar, and it was like
disgusting.
I'm done. I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
How I used to do it was I was raised from my mom making me coffee, and she likes to go by the saying, I like a little coffee with my cream and sugar.
Yep.
So it would be mostly creamer, like the pre-bought shit.
Yep.
Like French vanilla, whatever.
I mean, I'll be honest, not bad for a dessert.
Not bad, yeah. What's the company that does that,
Coffee
though?
Mate.
Coffee Mate. There's another one. International something.
International Delights.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah.
Of course.
ID.
Oh, ID? Yeah.
You know my boy ID?
Yeah, I think that was the one my mom always had.
Yep.
And that's what I like got started on. And I moved to my aunt, who is another big coffee drinker, who has much less creamy
What do you mean
sugar,
moved on to your aunt?
Oh, I think you know.
making
me.
me coffee.
Oh, okay.
And
I love,
enjoying
I love
it.
how Tyler's role in this so far is to like, how do I take this and make it sexual like right now?
Well, yeah, I'm either doing
great.
sound effects or I'm just doing like, so about this. Like, how do I derail everything you're trying to say?
That makes sense. Every podcast needs one.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're trying to hit all of the major podcast points. We're trying to be a crowd pleaser. We're cherry picking all the best.
Going back to sponsors.
For me, it started. I think I was a little bit older than 12. I think I was probably like 8 or 9 when I started because every Saturday.
a little older than 12 or a little.
Did I say older?
Yeah,
I
I
meant
was.
younger.
That's why I was
Okay.
like very confused.
I was just gonna let it ride.
I don't know ages.
I don't let it ride. I
No,
have to question
I shouldn't have said
everything.
that. I know ages. I promise. So basically,
Welcome to Hollywood. I'm Academy Award winner Kevin Spacey.
Oh no.
anyway, every Saturday morning, we would meet at my grandma's house. Like my family would meet at my grandma's house, and we would have coffee and donuts. It was like a tradition that has gone on ever since like my grandma was a kid. Her grandma did it, and they would just have coffee and donuts and talk. It's like a weekly get together for just like aunts and uncles and stuff like that. And so I always wanted to be like the adults, so I would just drink coffee in it. And of course, it was, you know, a little bit of coffee, obviously, with the cream and stuff like that. But then it completely shifted. And then working at the coffee shop and being able to not, you know, I wasn't drinking Maxwell House or Folgers or whatever, like the big bulk store bought. I was like, oh, there are different flavors and stuff you can get out of this. And I don't mean flavored as in like French vanilla coffee. I mean like this has cherry notes in it or something, like just in the beans inherently.
What is a note?
Just like what kind of
hint of
flavors are you
something?
getting out of it? Because you like craft beers and stuff, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So you know how sometimes you taste and you're like, oh, this one's very blah or whatever. Like this one's very like weedy, or this one is like you can taste the hops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those are like notes of that.
Like the Boulevard wheat you're sipping on right now.
yes, Boulevard. We'll take.
Holy shit, that would be an
Holy
insane
shit.
sponsor.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good
Do
stuff.
we have to be
crap.
a 21 plus podcast then?
Probably. If we have an
It's
alcoholic.
non-alcoholic beer. So anyway, notes are like the different flavors you can pull out of the beans and stuff like that. So yeah, is being able to get have those better coffees. So I guess my point is like it's not the coffee, it's not the way you're brewing the coffee that's probably the issue. I mean, you might be putting too much grounds in there or something like that, or not enough or whatever. But I think the main issue is the types of beans that you're getting. Tyler, I was waiting for
I'm not
Tyler.
saying anything. Whoa.
He used to give me shit every time I'd talk about having quality.
Quality
Ooh,
beans.
quality beans. It's like, but that
Quality beans is the
I think
go-to.
that is like the biggest difference you can have is, you know, even if you go to a Starbucks or a Caribou or any of the other coffee chains and buy some, like they're gonna be better there. But those even those aren't the best of the best or whatever. Like they get up very expensive. But a good place to start would just be trying to do like. Go to your local coffee shop or whatever and be like, oh, I'll just try a medium roast and just grab a bag of beans off there, bring it to the counter, have them grind them for you. Because all the ones that have been shipped and sitting on the store shelves for months and are already pre-ground and everything just have a bit of a soured taste to them because they are, you know, there's so much or additives to like preserve it and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed with old beans.
Yeah,
is that the coffee just tastes fucking sour. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That happened to me in LA. I had a.
Oh, I was in LA.
It was just like this. It was vanilla nut flavored. I was like, I'm a slut for vanilla, so let's go for this.
Yeah.
So I picked it up off the shelf, but like, the way the can was, it just wasn't airtight, which I think is a huge thing.
Yeah.
So after like a couple of weeks, it was really good coffee up until about that point, and then I poured myself a cup, and on my way to work, I was just like, I want to die. This tastes awful.
You don't just feel like that normally? Like that's just not a normal thought when you're walking to work? Like I want to fucking die.
Not when I was working for FunHaus.
Oh fuck your! I want to
There it
say
is.
I want to say fuck yourself, but you got me this really cool Sugar Pine 7
I did.
sweatshirt, and I love it very much.
I'm glad you like it so much.
That was very kind.
I also got you a PS2 2 controller
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
schematic shirt.
I'll
With
wear
the
I'll wear it
sick-
on one of the next ones or
The
whatever.
sick fucking sleeve
Yeah,
logo.
like the PS1 logo on the side. I'll wear it next time. It's got like it's like looks like concept sketches of the DualShock
Yeah,
2.
I think it's like the patent sketch.
Yeah, and it's got all of like the numbers listing.
awesome.
It's really cool. I'll wear it next time. But I feel like that's a good like. Speaking of you working at FunHaus, I feel like that's what I want to talk about right now.
Yeah.
Forget coffee. I want to talk about. So you're coming here to be on Shapeless now, but you literally just got done working at FunHaus for like 5 months.
So you go from FunHaus to Shapeless Gaming. So it's like
You go from over 1 million subs, like getting constant views, all kinds
Hey,
of like
you
very
guys
professional-
just breached 100 trillion billion
That's
subscribers.
true.
That is very
we did
true.
Just set the world record.
You did.
but yeah.
You did. Fuck PewDiePie.
fuck you, PewDiePie.
We're coming for you.
Oh God! If we say that,
kill you.
if this gets out and like that gets clipped and sent around and people actually take it seriously, like most of PewDiePie's fan base will, yeah, it's not good. But anyway, it's a
I'll
joke.
fight them all.
It's a
I'm gonna
joke.
get a fucking bomb in my
Fucking
mailbox.
Anyway,
Yeah. So tell us about working at FunHaus down in
so
LA.
I think I should preface it with how I got the job.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So back in January of last year,
Yep.
I went to the Rooster Teeth website and just went to their careers page and just like looked at what they had
Yep.
to like better my resume to fit one of those. And I saw the internships tab and I applied for Screw Attack, FunHaus, and Rooster Teeth proper.
Okay.
And I just sent them off and I was like, it's in God's hands now.
Yep.
Kind of a thing, right?
Yep. Was it kind of a long shot in your mind?
Yeah, I had I was like, they're not going to hire some fucking kid from the middle of Wisconsin with no credits.
Yeah.
Are you shitting me? So I just kind of like, let it hit the back of my mind. And come August, and the internship starts in September, mind you. So in
Right.
August, like August 1st, I get an email from James Willems himself. Like, hey, we saw your resume and we're considering you for this position. Would you like to have an interview with us? I was like, fuck, this is happening.
Yeah.
So I was like, yes, I'd love to have an interview with you over Skype or whatever. So I
Please
set it
show
up.
me your biceps, James.
They're extremely
You're so
impressive.
jacked.
So I set it up with them over Skype and everything. And the day that it came, I had my door closed and everything, and I have a Game Grumps live poster on my
Right,
wall
yep.
from when I went to go see them in Minneapolis. And the Skype call, blipped on, and there were two callers in the call. One from the main office proper, and one from the editing bay. So all the editors were on one camera, and all of the, I almost said Shapeless cast, all of the FunHaus cast were on the other, right? Just staring directly at me. That was a feeling. Let me tell you that. I was like, hey, everybody, my name is Taylor, and I'd like to work for you. Kind of a thing. But it went
Yep.
really well. The opening comment was actually James being like, oh, Game Grumps, huh?
Oh,
And I kind of did like that number at my wall. I'm like,
stupid. I should have done.
yeah, and I actually said out loud, I was like, I meant to take it down before we started calling. He's like, nah, it's all right. We like those guys. I was like,
He was like, I'm gonna fucking kill Aaron.
I actually synced the video and audio for the Game Grumps versus
No
FunHaus video that they did.
That's awesome.
It was pretty cool. I saw Aaron on a Skype call in that video. So if I wanted to, I could go through the footage that I still have on my laptop, get his Skype name, and type a little old message out to Aaron Hansen of the Game Grumps.
Let's dox Aaron right now.
Let's dox Aaron right now.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Aaron, we want you in on this. Hey, Ego, get in on this.
Oh God, I'm pretty sure he would hate us forever if we
Oh
called
my
him by
God.
Ego.
Does he hate that name?
Well, he doesn't hate it. He's just trying to branch away from it.
Is he?
Yeah, because it's like his old persona when he used to animate, and that's like not really what he wants to be known for anymore or whatever.
No.
Yeah, I'm serious.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
I know.
okay.
Because all the fans get on him for that. Anyway, back to FunHaus. Yeah.
So we had a nice call, a nice little interview. And it went,
how nervous were you during that interview?
I was pretty nervous. Like my heart.
I can't even do phone calls, let alone a Skype call with people that I look up to. At that point, they are practically celebrities.
Yeah, and they were.
Like, what am I going to call up Tom Hanks and just be like, hey, interview me?
So
snaps and he's in the room.
Tom Hanks is a
Whoa,
wizard.
Tom Hanks.
Wow, Academy Award winner Tom Hanks.
Conveniently in front of this green screen.
Taylor, edit that in there.
Yeah, I will. So anyway, what time does this camera record until? 29 minutes?
29 minutes.
Okay, cool. I'll cut that out or whatever.
What are we at?
20 minutes.
Cool.
Anyway, so the Skype call went on. It went really well, and he asked, like, how familiar are you with Photoshop and the Adobe suite or whatever? And I was like, oh, I do this for Tempo Storm and whatever. Had a nice little interview. And then it ended. And I was like, well, that went really well.
So how did it end? With just like a we'll get back to you? Or
Yep.
Okay.
It was we'll contact you if this, something comes of this or whatever, right? And I was like, well, they probably have a bunch of other candidates to go through today, and that makes a lot of sense. Because it was pretty early in my day. No, it wasn't. It was early in their day. It was at like 1 o'clock their time, 3 p.m. my time. Because there's a 2-hour time difference. So I was like, oh, this is like right after their lunch break or whatever. So I might be, the first or the last or who knows.
Yeah.
So about 40 minutes pass, and I get an email that says, hey, we'd like you to be an intern for FunHaus.
Wow.
Holy shit.
I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
holy
quick turnaround.
Fuck. Yeah, it was an insane
made an impression.
turnaround. And I was like, let me get on this. I'll let you know as soon as possible if I can make it out there. And I had to call my dad. I was on the way home. I was in Eau Claire when I got that email. I was visiting some friends.
in Wisconsin.
From Wisconsin. I was visiting some friends, and I had to step out and call my dad and be like, Dad, I got an internship at like one of my dream jobs.
Yeah.
And he's like, no way. I'm like, yeah, dude.
No, you didn't, you piece of shit.
Taylor,
That's why your mother left me.
You'll never make me proud.
So I told him, and he's like, yeah, that's awesome. Come home and we'll talk about it. So then the next day I went home and we talked about it for hours, just about like what it was, the logistics of it, because, the money had to come from somewhere.
Right, yeah.
And my parents, I love them to fucking death. They helped me out so much with this trip.
That's
and,
incredible.
It would not have been possible without them. And
Shout out to you, Mom and Dad.
yeah, for real, for fucking real. And you're probably never gonna watch this because I'll never show it to you because I swear a lot in it and you don't like that. But I
Fuck
do.
you, Dad.
Come home.
But yeah, I do. I do really owe it all to them, basically, and all the shit that I was able to do out there was mainly because of that and everything. You gonna vape? Do it.
No.
Do it, you pussy.
Tori gets mad at me.
What?
I get mad when you vape during the show. Something
Oh,
about
last
it.
time-
Something
No,
about
last
it seems
time-
so disrespectful.
Yeah, no, it is. It's completely. Last time I was like running off of 2 hours of sleep though on the last Skyrim episode, and I had just pulled it out and I was just hitting it, and Tori just like tried to like hint at me like by taking it like, quit doing that. Stop,
no!
stop it.
It was one of those situations like I have to draw his attention to this, but I have to like stay
Because we're in the
our,
middle
like,
of a cutscene right now.
yeah,
we're
well,
in
not
dialogue.
even that. Like, not that we're like characters on screen, but you put on like a little bit of like a presenter
Yeah.
suit first, and you're like, okay, like we got to keep this show rolling. And
Yeah,
all that kind
straight
of
up.
stuff.
Don't
So-
approach Tyler in the real life. Like outside
No,
of Shapeless.
absolutely
he's
not. I'm a fucking dick. I'll be the first to say it. I see you in public. I'm ducking my head down. I'm pretending you don't fucking exist.
Anyway.
Yes. Anyway, so your dad.
Great man.
I'm really sorry, guys.
No, that's great. It
Taylor,
adds
edit
flavor.
that out.
We'll throw in,
Bazinga.
we'll throw in the bazinga. I got the bazinga saved. We'll throw it in there.
Perfect.
All right. What is the file name?
Bazinga.
It should be greatjoke.avi.
Greatjoke.info.
greatjoke.avi.
I'll rename it right now to greatjoke.mp3.
Sweet. But anyway, back to working at FunHaus.
Yeah.
So I travel out there for 4 days, right? After getting all the logistics figured out and everything like that. I travel out there. It takes me 4 days to get out there.
Wow.
I packed everything in my car because I was still working for Tempo at the time.
Yep.
And I needed
You
to be
still
able-
do, don't you?
I still do, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I needed to be able to edit, get emails and shit, and just have a computer that wasn't this laptop that needs to be replaced and updated.
Yep.
Breathing in, because my trachea is closing because my cats at home are dicks and they sleep on my clothing.
There you
But
go.
anyway, actually, it's my fault because I leave my clothes on the floor. and they just sleep on it.
It's my fault because I keep them in my clothes.
Yeah, they're right here actually. But anyway, so the first week that I was working there, you know, the whole struck thing was apparent. The whole first week I was there, I was like, holy fuck, I'm working at FunHaus. Oh my God, and everything, right?
Right.
So basically what my job was, they have a show called Open House and Demo Disc. And those two videos are mainly Photoshop heavy. So, you know, they've got the gameplay and the face cam, but then they also have Photoshops come in every once in a while to like supplement the jokes or whatever.
Right. And if you guys haven't seen FunHaus, which like, I'm sure plenty of you have or whatever, but like they do a lot of visual gags. Like,
yeah,
which is where you came in for a lot of it, right?
Okay. Yep. And I can always share some visual gags that I made or whatever, and there we can put links.
So
in the
how
descriptions
comfortable
of
were you
everything.
with Photoshop like prior to that?
Prior to, decently comfortable.
Okay. So it wasn't just like I absolutely lied about that. Like I have no fucking clue what I'm doing.
Yeah, because for tempo, I have to make thumbnails every once in a while.
Okay.
So I'm aware of Photoshop, and I've made my own thumbnails as well. So I knew of the program, right? Let me tell you how good at Photoshop I am now after working on it for 10 hours a day for fucking 4 months, right? Not to blow myself or anything, but...
Do it, Dad.
Do it.
But yeah, so photoshopping all those stuffs and everything, right? So the first week I was like, I'm gonna be the best fucking thing ever, you know, best intern, whatever, because I was the only intern there at the time.
Oh, right.
I had a whole week to myself.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yep.
Just abusing you the entire time.
Hey, you're the only one.
Yep. So
You're gonna
at
get it
that
all.
time, I think Lawrence and Bruce were out of the office, and Adam never came over to our little area. So the way it was set up was there was the main building that had full screen and Funhouse in it. Now, full screen kind of did a merger with Rooster Teeth way back in the day. I don't even remember how long ago that was. But they did that to share spaces in LA because they only have so much space.
Obviously, yeah.
So full screen was, you know, mainly using the studio space and everything. They had like 3/4 of it, and then Funhouse had 1/4 of it, and then another little room for themselves. So we were in a trailer out back. Really nice trailer, but not a trailer nonetheless.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like one of those homes you see on the highway that are like oversized load and everything. There's like one half on one semi and one half on another. It was like that, basically.
Okay.
But it had air conditioning, windows, a bathroom, and 500 gigabyte per second up and down speed of internet.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I have like 2.
Yeah.
2 megabytes.
Yeah, Jesus. Okay.
So the reason that was so high is because it was also an intranet. So if I wanted to send a file to James, he would get it immediately. All I would do is upload it at 500 megabytes per second, or gigabytes, megabytes. No, it was gigabytes. Yes, it was gigabytes. So I would basically take a Photoshop file and just Control-C, Control-V from my computer onto the server like that, and anyone in the office can look at it.
Jesus Christ.
In moments.
That is crazy.
And for syncing
Technology exists.
and for syncing audio and video, those video files can get up to like 20 gigs because they're filming in 1080p 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
2 minutes. Done.
That is
And it's like
wild.
3 hours long.
That is fucking ridiculous.
That is crazy.
We haven't
my
even
wet
gotten to the
dream.
studio yet, my dude.
Get into it.
It is 28 minutes and 30 seconds. So if you wanted
I'm
to
gonna go do that, yeah.
reset the camera.
Yeah, you keep talking. I'm listening.
Absolutely.
I'm not, so don't bother.
So the studio I didn't get to see for another couple of weeks at that point. But once I did, like the other interns came in, Scott and Nikki, they're great people. I don't know if I would ever like talk to them outside of it again. Like if I'm ever in the area, Nikki lives there, I could always reach out to her and be like, "Hey, what's up? We work together. Do you want to hang out or whatever?" Right? But
I
Scott,
need a place to live.
but
Hey,
Scott,
times have gone sour. Can I crash on your couch for a couple days?
but Scott was from New Jersey
New Jersey.
and he drove as well.
Oh boy.
So he had about another 15 hours on the road.
That's across coast.
That is coast,
coast
to
to coast.
He went coast to coast.
Call him
East to west.
Call him Space Ghost.
Coast to coast, space ghost.
That one.
Coming this summer.
Have you ever watched that?
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's an actual thing. It's an old Cartoon Network show.
Space Ghost?
Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
No, never seen it.
What the fuck?
It's where Brax came from.
You're making up words to impress us, and it's not
It was a
impressing me.
old Adult Swim show, like one of the first.
No, that's not ringing any bells.
Really, it's where Aqua Teen Hunger Force actually came from. Also, not ringing any bells.
That's the one that has a cup,
this.
right?
Yeah, the Master Shake.
I know this.
Yeah.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast. I've seen this.
I've only seen a couple of episodes. I need to watch it. It's bizarre humor though, because the way they animate it is they took old cells from like the 50s of like the huge, not 50s. Was it the 50s? I don't fucking know.
90s Batman, it looks like.
Yeah, they took old animation cells that were never used in Hanna-Barbera cartoons, basically cartoons that were scrapped. They took those old cells to cut down on animation cost and just reused them over and over again and like shittily animated them all across the screen and everything. And
love when they
the
try and
crux
make
of the
things
show came from the comedy, because there's some really good lines in that show. There's a really good insult. What was it? It's like, go back to the dumpster, you 5-piece chicken McNobody. Like,
Classic.
it's really funny. I need to
Space
watch
Ghost
more.
move.
I need to watch more of it. But back to FunHaus.
Yeah.
'Cause we
FunHaus
keep
Studio.
derailing.
Back to the FunHaus
studio.
Studios.
So after doing some photoshops for a while, Omar was like, "Hey, we got to go set up the Twits and Crits set, which is their D&D show."
Okay.
And I get to the studio, and my God, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cameras on tripods, all black magic.
Oh, okay. So you don't. This speaks to us because we're both in film school.
Fuck off. Students.
But Blackmagic are cinema cameras. They're kind of like, I don't want to say on par with Red, but like in that same vein of like, these are cinema cameras made for making movies, making television. These are not your Canon DSLR
Consumer,
These are not your consumer grade. These are cinema grade cameras.
And they were the really cool ones with like the screen on the back of it built into the lens, kind of a thing.
Oh my God. 5 of them?
5. And
Stupid money.
We didn't use one, so that's 6. And they had one mounted on the ceiling for a top-down view. So that is 7 total.
Those things got to be $9,000 a piece just for the body.
And so all of those cables routed into the wall behind the set. So we had, giant cable snakes and everything. And once they were into the wall, there was another room that they had like completely separate, like at least 10 feet away from the actual set, where you monitor all the audio, all the video on like a little switchboard thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Is it like a TriCaster type thing?
Sort of. Yeah.
Okay.
The way they did it, they didn't really have the board for the Blackmagic cameras. I don't know why. I think Omar said that it was really buggy for some reason.
Okay.
So we just had a MacBook in there, but it had like all the key commands on it and everything. So that was how they like switch cameras and everything, but they didn't really live switch. They just recorded everything. So they have 7 raw data files on SSDs.
Oh my God.
That they sync in post. So massive amounts of data. Remember that server I told you about earlier with the 500 up, 500 down?
Yeah.
That the amount of data on that fucking server, because they keep everything.
Yeah, and they've been going for how long?
And they've been going for a couple years now.
Yeah.
The amount of data is just astronomical.
Crazy.
Insane.
Because they're not shooting raw, are they?
I'm actually not sure.
Okay. That would be ridiculous, but also, like, what else do you shoot on a cinema camera? You got, like, raw, ProRes, like, they're all gonna be fat fucking files.
Yeah,
like,
they were 1080p, though.
Ugh. Ew.
However, it's a really high quality 1080p.
Yeah, that is crazy.
But other than the studio work and the photoshops, just getting to know some of the people in the organization, I guess you could call them at this point, was super neat.
Organization as in Funhouse or as in Rooster Teeth?
As in FunHaus.
Okay.
I only met 2 Rooster Teeth proper employees, and they were Fareed and Rafella. And Rafella isn't on camera. She's like the HR person. So I had to send all my paperwork and stuff to her. And she was in the office for like 2 days when that whole Let's Play family reunion thing happened. Like Achievement Hunter, a couple of the Rooster Teeth guys, Steven Suptic from Sugar Pine 7 all went to like this house that they rented out for a weekend and just kind of did a show there. Rafaela was there, and she came to the FunHaus office and like said hi to everybody.
Cool.
And then Fareed, he's also been in some Sugar Pine 7 videos. I don't know what the fuck Fareed is, honestly. I didn't get to talk to him too much.
Ghost Force.
He just is there. Like,
Yeah,
Rooster Teeth employees are just like so mysterious at this point. Like no one knows what they do. They're like the Sigic Order from Skyrim. They just kind of like show up at some points. Like things are happening that you cannot turn back now. Rooster Teeth is buying you.
and then just disintegrates.
That's who we need a sponsorship from. Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, just be picked up by them.
Buy us.
We'll sell out.
Absolutely.
We've already got the drafts of the paperwork. We're ready to go. We just need to sign on the dotted line here.
Yeah. Basically, what Fareed does is I think he handles some finance stuff, but he bounces between campuses a bunch just to like,
So
team morale.
He's one of
Yeah.
he manages like all the branches of it.
Yeah, he's at every branch. He's at
Cool.
Sugar Pine, he's at Rooster Teeth proper, he's at FunHaus. I'm sure he's at Kind of Funny,
Yeah.
like just all of the Rooster Teeth family. I'm sure he's been to every set.
Yep.
But he was cool too. I only got to meet him for a couple of minutes.
Right.
But the reason I met him was during their Secret Santa thing, like the week and a half before my internship was up.
Yeah.
Rooster Teeth did this thing where different branches of it would gift each other things anonymously until the day they got the gift, right? And then you would figure out who it was from. And Kind of Funny. No, not Kind of Funny. It was who the fuck was it? Game Attack or some shit like that.
Okay.
Not one of like the main ones that you would know from
Yeah.
Rooster Teeth. Sent FunHaus 7 live parakeets. Just in a white cage. And Fareed,
you guys eat them?
no, but Fareed basically kicked down the door with this cage. He was like, "Hey, guess what? You got parakeets," and then just like kind of left for a bit.
What the fuck do you do with these?
We didn't know, and like they were scared shitless because they're live fucking animals.
Like you have to take care of them or do something with them.
yeah, so they filmed a video about just like we have birds now, I guess, and then they returned them to the store. But yeah, what a weird,
cruel.
yeah, like what a weird fucking gift, right?
I'm just gonna fucking give you these birds, these live animals. Like, do what you will with them.
That is a pretty good like Secret Santa thing though. Just like
It was.
What's gonna be the thing that's gonna fuck with them the most? Just not like emotionally gonna fuck with them. It's physically and
Unless
financially.
they go back into like their personal lives and they like find shit on them. They just like send them like
Oh my god!
pictures and shit.
What if like one of the members of FunHaus had parakeets as a kid that they loved more than anything, and they're like exploiting this like
Release. It was Spooky Tony Tofu. Yo, 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 Spooky Tony Tofu on the bus. You know, we have some fucking parakeets.
that's the best video. Oh, it's so good.
Oh man, but yeah, that was what working for FunHaus was like.
What do you think the best thing about doing that was?
Best thing about doing that, probably making some of the connections. Like I'm still part of the
Just networking out in Hollywood.
yeah, man.
The movers and shakers in the business.
Also that.
Also that.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't shut you down like that. That was good.
No, it's
No.
okay. I'm built to shut people down.
That's all he goes for.
But I'm still part of the Slack group for the interns. They call it Fun Turns, which is kind of cheesy, but it's fine. So if I ever wanted to reach out to any of the like editing team, I can just do that.
Cool.
I'll probably get kicked off of the Rooster Teeth proper Slack here in
Probably.
about like a week or two. But if I wanted to, right now, I could just send Bernie Burns a message.
Holy shit, Bernie Burns.
Bernie Burns.
Ask him if I can drive his Tesla. Bernie Burns just seems cool.
Send
He
them
does
dirty
seem cool.
pictures of yourself
He
right
seems
now.
like-
Yeah.
He seems like
Send
That's
him
how
send
that's
him
how
some
Blaine
dirty
got
links.
hired at Rooster Teeth.
Is that who?
Blaine. I forget what shows he does.
You got to
but,
remember, I don't think either of us are that familiar with Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, I'm honestly not that familiar with them much anymore either. But Blaine was an intern at one point, and now he's like a main cast member
Oh,
of
shit, cool.
Rooster Teeth.
Proper?
And Rooster Teeth proper.
Okay.
And when he finished his internship, he took a picture of himself with a cake that said "Hire me" over his crotch, completely nude, and just sent it and tweeted it out and tried to get as much attention on it as possible.
That's a bold move.
Then he got hired.
That is a super bold move.
It was really interesting.
That sounds really
I
awesome.
have to go really quickly and contact all future employers. I'm going to utilize that strategy.
Do it.
Take that?
Do it.
Yeah, I'm taking that.
Tyler, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
I think the only thing I had on the docket today, which was it started as a joke, but it's especially now with Hollywood's accusations of everyone. We'll just go back to LA. We'll just segue right back into the LA lifestyle. It sucks. Like looking up to like celebrity, not even like looking up to them, like, oh, that's just like a cool person as a child. And then now it's just like, oh yeah, they are absolutely a rapist. Like they are the shittiest person on
earth. Like you're talking about Academy Award winner Kevin Spacey.
I'm talking about Academy Award winner Kevin Spacey. But not only that, it was because you had brought up a Chuck Norris line from the movie Dodgeball. And I was like, I'm pretty sure Chuck Norris is like, maybe a racist, like maybe not actively, but maybe passively.
Yep.
So I just Googled on here, like Chuck Norris racist ? And
it sounds like a clickbait title. Chuck Norris racist?
Top 10 reasons why Chuck Norris is a rapist. BuzzFeed.
But the first thing that pops up for Chuck Norris racist is Chuck Norris warns 1,000 years of darkness if Obama is reelected. 1,000 years of darkness. Like this is a fucking episode of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, what is he, a druid?
We're in Duelist Kingdom right now. Like we're reaching the finals or whatever.
And then you drop all the pieces of Exodia on your ass.
He's successfully has almost all 5 pieces of Exodia, and like he's warning me, like, if I get to pull this next card, you will be bathed in 1,000 years of darkness. Obama will reign terror.
Chuck.
No. So it's
No.
just like everyone had those like stupid Chuck Norris jokes when they were a kid.
Yeah.
And it's like now it's just when you grow older, it's like, oh yeah, I want to make this joke. And then you have to like wonder in the back of your head, like, is that person a racist or are they a rapist? Because there's only 1 or 2 options right now in Hollywood.
Yeah, that does seem to be the case.
Except Tom Hanks, because he's a perfect human being.
Also,
Not even a human being.
What is his name? Jeff Bridges is also like a stand-up dude. He's been married for a really long time too. And like,
it's crazy that that's what makes a stand-up.
Yeah,
right?
just
Exactly. Like it's such a fucking low bar for being a decent human being.
Yeah.
When it comes to like celebrities right now, it's insane.
Loved you in Kingsman too, buddy. If you're watching. If you're not.
If you're watching,
In fact, that's the only thing I've ever seen you in, Jeff Bridges. Hateful Eight.
I saw him in that one.
No, that was Kurt Russell.
That's Kurt Russell.
There's one Western movie he was in though.
I think every Western movie.
Every Western movie
Has
stars-
Jeff Bridges in it? Yeah.
Yeah, he was in
Except 310 to Yuma.
Hell or
for some
High
reason.
Water.
I forget the movie that I'm talking about, but he had like an eye patch.
Yeah, it was like it was a remake.
Oh,
like
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yep, that's the one. The old Western, Pirates of the Caribbean.
That classic Western film that we all love. So
I was pretty bummed about there was some celebrity I wanted to
So wait,
talk
what is
about.
your actual topic then? Is it like are you asking us like who are those celebrities that like
Or it's just
now
like,
we're just like,
is there now
fuck?
a moment where it's just like you're just worried every single day where it's like, oh, this is someone I look up to, like who
Oh my
would I
God,
be
yeah.
devastated to lose?
I'm scared that one of the Game of Thrones cast members is gonna like come out with they're gonna have sexual allegations
and
against
then
them before season 8. Like just finish the series. Like no one come out before then. Come on.
Yeah, and it's
that
unfortunate.
seems a bit like selfish to be like,
Oh, it's super
okay,
selfish. I mean, like I hope it didn't
everyone
happen.
suppress your trauma until Game of Thrones
No,
is
I just mean I
over.
hope it didn't happen. All right, I just mean
Yeah.
obviously come out if that happened, but like God, if I find out that
because the guy who came out about Kevin Spacey has gotten a lot of threats about canceling
Yes.
House of Cards.
They blame him.
well they're
Yeah,
continuing
absolutely.
it anyway.
Are they?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Netflix
it's gonna be
tweeted,
just
or House
Claire.
of Cards tweeted something. They were like, Claire's, or no, it was Robin Wright's House of Cards continues in 2018.
Yep.
That they tweeted, and it was like,
Yeah. So
okay.
now it's gonna be
Nice.
Claire.
Claire.
She's gonna be the one taking the
Well, I mean, she was taking the mantle anyway. Like, not to say anything about the series if you haven't seen it, but we're at a point now where
season 2, Kevin Spacey dies.
That's not even real.
No, it's.
I haven't even watched the show, Tory. Spoilers.
Speaking of-
Are you going to?
No.
Spoilers. How upset are you at Chewbacca's horrifying death in The Last Jedi?
Thank you for fucking spoiling it for me, you piece of shit. I haven't seen it yet. Oh, you're joking.
It was horrific. He was torn to shreds. Luke
By a
was going
porg?
through PTSD, and he cut him up. Like,
Lightsaber just.
it was like a
hacked right
tauntaun on Hoth. He just cut him open and wore him like.
And
a
I thought he
coat.
smelled bad on the outside. Nah,
They
like
would have had a bad.
I hope no one.
Yeah.
I hope nothing comes up about
Mark Hamill.
Tim Allen, Hollywood heavy hitter Tim
Tim
Allen.
Allen from the Santa Claus. You mean the 2002 classic, The Santa Claus?
No, I'm Santa Claus 2.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Santa Claus. See, I always just throw out a date. Like, I just pick a random date. in my
pick a
head
random date.
that sounds good in my head.
Are you gonna look it up right now?
The Santa Claus, 1994. Oh my God, I was so off.
Thanks for playing.
Holy shit, I wasn't even alive when that came out.
You were in
my
the
God.
wrong decade. So okay, the thing is, like, when it comes to this stuff, I don't. It feels weird saying, like, oh, I hope that this doesn't happen or whatever, because, like, I want anyone
Yeah.
who has been through something like that, I want them to be able to speak up. I want
And
that.
it's good. There's an environment
and
now where
I
it's
like
open.
I like that our culture and like our everything now is like you can come out and people aren't going to make you, or most people aren't going to make you feel bad or whatever. We're going to try to accept you and take what you're saying and do something about it. So that's not what I mean when I say that I hope.
Yeah, no,
nothing
I
comes
totally,
out.
I totally
no,
understand.
I
It's just
totally
like
understand.
there's all these, there's so many. Like, I loved Kevin Spacey, and now I can't.
Yeah. It comes to the point where it's like, man, I hope that this person never does or has never done anything like this because I respect them so much now, and that would just be devastating. Like,
There are some that aren't shocking. Like, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, Louis C.K. You're like, yeah,
that makes
sounds
sense.
about right.
Holy shit. His jokes in his stand-ups now about masturbation make a lot more
That's the thing. Is like
sense
we
and
all thought
makes
it was
me a
funny
lot
when it
more
was a stand-up,
uncomfortable.
and then we found out that he was
It's not a
telling,
bit.
He was
Yeah.
telling those jokes because that's what he actually goes through,
Yep.
or whatever.
like the joke about him coming on his cat now. Ooh.
You guys don't do that? Ha ha! That was got you.
Got me. Yeah,
gotcha
got him.
moments. Jesus.
But yeah, like if something ever
Everyone else
came
really craving a cigarette right now. I gotta go.
if something ever came up about like a dead mouse about that, like
Oh,
I would
yeah.
be
You're a huge Dead
destroyed.
Mouse fan.
I would be absolutely destroyed. I look up to him so much as a person
Mm-hmm.
because he doesn't give a fuck when it comes to somebody telling him what to do and how to do it better because he is the person who does it better.
I would go
man-
off of that, but I don't know much about Deadmau5.
The only thing I know about Deadmau5 is I saw a video about his home studio, his home like mixing room, his home mastering room, his home gaming setup.
Yeah.
Like
Fuck.
it is fucking ridiculous.
The amount of money that
the
man
amount
spends.
of outboard gear, like just synths that man has in this room. It's like this custom built room, and like his listening like area is just like dead in the middle, and it's just like walls.
That's a Dolby Atmos system.
Yeah. And he's just
Oh
got
my God.
walls of outboard gear that just go way the fuck up to the ceiling. It's like, oh my God.
And that room is acoustically perfect.
Yeah.
Too.
Like-
And just to give you the kind of guy that Deadmau5 is and what he likes to spend his money on, he bought a Ferrari and wrapped it in light blue and painted Nyan Cat on it and called it the Ferrari.
Because he just got that money to blow, or what?
He just has the money, thought it was funny, and did it.
Holy shit!
This is also the same person who his shtick, I guess you could say, for his
Yeah.
live shows is the cube, which is LCD panels in a shape like this and then like this. And so there are like 9 panels on each of these planes,
yeah, like
right?
three, like
Yeah.
3 in rows of 3.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
All of them are on servo motors.
Okay.
So they all like push in and out and like rotate and shit and then come back. And he plays like 4K, 60 frames per second, like just videos on it that time sync with the music that he's playing.
Yeah.
He built that for his shows. It's fucking gigantic.
Yeah.
He built one in his house that was smaller that he just has.
Just does he use it to like test?
Yeah, he uses it to test. It's
Okay.
also known as the Cube Mini, so he can take it to venues that can't handle the big cube.
It's a good.
Yeah.
It's actually smart.
He's incredibly smart because he makes all those fucking videos himself too. Most of them, I should say. Some of them are done by other artists that he hires,
That's cool.
but a lot of them are done by him in house.
Which is fucking ridiculous. And he's got like how you were talking about that 500 gigabyte per second server. Like his servers, like I mean, they showed his server rooms and everything.
Yeah. Are you talking about the Linus Tech Tip video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Have you seen that video?
No,
I'll share it
gotta
with
But it
you.
just sounds like what you guys are. I'm like blown away right now because I don't know.
I didn't know
just-
he had that much money.
He has a lot
Because
of money.
I found out that he's like mastering a lot of people's albums. Like they're
Yep.
sending them off to him. He masters them. It's just
There
like
was actually an Instagram video from Kanye West. Not actually Kanye West, but somebody who was in the studio with Kanye West, and they were bumping.
Not that Kanye West.
They were bumping to a Deadmau5 track, right? And he's just like sitting like this with the camera, and then he spins the camera around, and it's Kanye West like playing the track. And someone was like, "Fuck, does this mean a collaboration between the two?" And Deadmau5 commented, "I wouldn't mind doing something with those guys."
both of them.
Yeah,
He's like the top dog of the EDM community, right?
Well,
one
that
of-
depends on who you ask.
I think there's like
It's
several
different 'cause
branches.
He's more
Yeah.
of like a trappy style, right?
No, he is more of a.
I'm not going to pretend to know anything
Because
about
How do I
it.
put
like the
this?
only people that I like listen to in that are like I like Odessa, but that's
Odessa's
more
good.
of like the orchestral style.
Yeah, that's more like if World and EDM had a baby.
Yeah.
That's Odessa.
Yeah.
Deadmau5, it's hard to classify him because he has his roots in trance music
Yeah.
and like progressive trance music.
That's how, because that in my mind, like when I remembered like first getting into like the dubsteppy stuff back in like 7th grade,
Mm-hmm.
that Deadmau5 was like one of the first ones when everyone was like, thought it was Deadmau5 5.
because he's been in the game for a really long time.
He invented the game.
He honestly
This
kind of
summer.
did.
He's back.
I think he and Daft Punk are like the oldest EDM producers that are still in the game. And saying EDM is
What about, but that,
It's
that
got
whole
a
movement
negative
started-
connotation for a lot of people.
That whole
Yeah.
movement started in like more in like European, like Germany and England.
Like
and
house.
stuff like,
True,
yeah, like
true.
that kind of house. Like, so you got, I guess I don't know if they're still in, but like when I think of like the older ones that even go back that were popular, like Future Sounds of London, like
yeah, those guys too. Yeah,
they're still in the game, aren't they?
they might be. I'm not sure.
Anyway,
Do you ever
anyway,
really
he's-
leave
he's
the
old.
game?
okay.
He's been in the game for a really long time.
you ever
And one of
really leave the
Deadmau5's signature shticks is he'll call out lazy producers like on Twitter and shit. So like a really infamous one right now is Marshmello. Do you know who that is? He's like he's this new EDM guy who also wears a helmet.
Had a
uses
big track with Selena Gomez this year.
Yep. And
But
honestly,
I mean, that
it's
shit
not.
probably got pushed through so many like avenues where it's
That's
like
a big get.
it's a business though. Like I mean, it's not like the song is like actually being played. Like everything gets on the radio. Everything is decided what plays. Like nothing is actually like consumer. Like oh, I want to listen to this. It's like no, we're gonna pay you this much fucking money. You're gonna be playing this for 2 months.
And it does take skill to make those songs. I'm
Oh,
not saying that at
absolutely.
all.
Absolutely, it's
a lot of
probably
Swedish
much.
dudes.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I think a lot of people have it in their mind where it's just like I just hit this button
Yeah.
and the music is there, and it's like no, that stuff has so many layers. Like it's
Yeah.
probably like your classic rock albums that usually people compare to, like it could never be like this. Like that's the shit it gets compared to, and it's like there are so many more layers in this EDM music that's miles like
Yeah, they're essentially
miles
composers.
behind.
They are,
beyond-
absolutely.
They're the modern day composers.
So if you were to compare them as in composers, right? So Marshmello, a lot of his music can be made in like Fruity Loops and stuff like that, which is, you know, the
Yep.
baseline shit to
I
get
played
into.
around with some Fruity Loops
Yeah.
back in the day.
So a lot of these like arm waver EDM producers, right? The
Yeah.
ones that stand up and just like do this and like lights and shit or whatever. Sure, it takes skill to put those songs together and everything, but Deadmau5 calls them out for being lazy. because a lot of their songs, they take a
pre-cum.
pre-cum. No, they take like presets and they tweak them a little bit. Like they're like, oh, that doesn't sound quite right, so they tweak some numbers around, right? Deadmau5 a lot of the time starts from a scratch sine wave and builds from that.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's insane, but like in my head, right, because I haven't heard about him calling anyone out. It's just like that being on that level is insane, where he's starting from his own sine waves and he's just like building it from that. It's like, but at the same time, it's like, okay, not everyone has the access to, and it's not about the gear, but it's like at some point, it's like he's got access to way more gear that can like, it's a creative juice. It allows him to have more freedom of space with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So like you'll get these, long flowing melodies of electronic sound that he can just throw out in like 20 minutes because he live streams on Twitch.
Wow.
And he just, my God, some of the streams that I've tuned into, he just starts with like a chord on a piano, right? An electric piano. He just plays a chord. And he's like, all right, I can work with this. And he just keeps like building chords off of that initial chord. And then once he has that chord structure, then he starts to tweak some shit. Then he tweaks more shit. Then he adds LFOs. He tweaks more shit. Then he adds like a reverb effect onto it. And it just makes this symphony of electronic sounds in a matter of minutes.
That's crazy.
Is nuts.
That makes me want to check it out more, like understanding a little bit more about like the craft that goes into it.
I just like him as a person too.
Yeah, and that's one of those like personality things.
Yeah, because he's just a funny guy. Like on Twitter, like I said, he calls people out. He actually got into a Twitter fight with Kanye. And that was really funny.
Damn, that's a bold move.
Yeah, so on Twitter,
Kanye kind of just calls himself out on Twitter. I'm glad he's off Twitter. He needed
oh, is he really?
Yeah, he's been off Twitter for a while. He needed it.
Yeah, so he if I remember the story correctly, he tweeted out a picture of like his laptop of him like downloading some music or whatever from somebody. He's like, damn, this is good. Yeah.
I know exactly what
you know what I'm talking about. And in his tabs, you can see the Pirate Bay open for pirating a software that he and Deadmau5 had like co-created.
What?
Yeah. So Deadmau5 called out, was like, hey bro, what the fuck is this? Why don't you pay for your own software? And then Kanye got all like defensive and shit and called him Mickey Mouse 5 years after that joke was already established.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a pretty funny Twitter fight.
That was funny. Just like the zoom in on his tabs and it's like, dude, what are you doing?
He also calls out people who shit on him for his live shows too. Like someone will tweet like, Deadmau5 had the worst set, and then he'll retweet him.
That's the most dick move you can do, because then every one of your followers is just like, I'm about to dive in on this fucking guy.
I'm gonna see everything. I'm gonna go through it, like find out exactly when like he tweeted about like so sad that my dad passed away, and then like I fucking got you.
Yeah, like they're gonna be like, I'm glad your dad is dead, you absolute fucking piece of shit.
It's kind of like those cool guys don't look at explosions thing, where like the retweet button is the trigger, where Deadmau5 is just like beep, and then just walks away.
And like trying to say crush him. Boop. Yeah, and then it's done.
And then his day is over. He doesn't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah, he really doesn't.
For the sake of the camera, how are we doing on the time?
We are at 58 minutes. I was thinking about going another like 2.
All right.
Make it an even...
We'll make it an even 2. I just wanted to make sure we weren't going to...
Yeah. 29 times 2 is...
58. 48. 58.
58. So should we reset the camera really quick, or do you just want to wrap it up?
We'll wrap it up. We got 2 cameras.
Yeah, sure. So for the sake of time, because I don't know when this camera is going to cut out, thank you for watching our first podcast.
Yeah, or listening.
I'm sure
most people, like, I only listen to podcasts.
Can I even be seen on this?
Excuse me?
Thanks. But yeah, thanks for tuning in or listening in. We'll be sure to do this more, because I had a fucking blast.
This was
we've been waiting to do this. We've just been waiting for you to get back.
Because I've been fucking tweeting at you.
Oh my God. And we've had this in the works for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trying to get this going and everything like that. But
yeah.
So if you're watching, if you're listening, check us out. At Shapeless Gaming on YouTube, right? Right, guys? Yep. Am I right, fellas?
The Throwback Thursday where we play Super Smash Bros, which is the first episode I'm in.
Right, yeah.
Should be up by the time this goes
We don't have a day for the podcast
We don't yet.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Yeah. We're going to wrap it up so we don't babble on more. But
never wrap it up.
The Tower of Babylon.
All right, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.